folks, can the Leafs beat bad teams or just good teams? A crushing loss to the hapless Sabres. Leaf lands in a bit of a tizzy. We're going to break it all down for you right here.
You're in the offensive zone, your place for Leafs hockey.
Hey folks, welcome to the OZone. That's Coach. That's Katie. I'm the Devo. We're here to talk all things Leafs. Well, the Leafs came out a little flat and stayed flat Wednesday night versus Buffalo. KD, what did you see?
Well, one of the great joys of going to a game, if you could go with a group, hang out before. If you put this picture up, we went to a great steakhouse. I went with a group of guys the other night. Look at these beauties, the old Kilku Broomball clan, and had a great time. Living large, went to the hot stove in between periods and after the game, and living our best lives. We just unfortunately didn't see a quality game out there, but I have to give a quick shout out. Thanks to Della for dinner. Only thing better than a steak dinner is a free steak dinner, and for Donger and Rack and Shawnee for the beers and drinks, and Love for the tickets. And again, look at this little group. Now, the one guy in the picture you can't see, he's probably hiding for good reason, is a Norwegian guy who lives in Sweden. He was in doing business, and he's taking over kind of the international arm of the OZone, and so he'll be looking after all the fanfare out there.
Scandinavian scout.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So he good. Nice to meet him and Morton. He was a good guy, and we didn't scare him off. And unfortunately, the Leafs play might have, but it was a good time. Other than the quality on the ice.
All right, Coach, what happened?
Hey, Kev, see if you can get your buddy to get Boreas Salming on here.
Yeah. We will. We'll work on it. Absolutely.
Love that guy. Yeah, so I watched. I was the only guy, I guess, to watch the game on TV, and I had to look to make sure there were people in the stands. I felt like this guy here. It's quiet, too quiet, because there was no atmosphere. I'm sure you guys will speak to it, but it was a joke. Yeah. Anyway, I felt bad for you guys. I mean, the game was atrocious, and we'll get into what we didn't like. But I'm wondering if you want me to give this guy a call. I'm a close personal friend of this guy here, Larry Tannenbaum. Let me see if I can get your money back for you, fellas, because that was terrible. Maybe, or is it Lub's money back? But anyway, what a stinker! Unbelievable. I'm sure you guys could have picked a different night to go spend $22 for a beer. Right? It's crazy. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, well, so, from my perspective, I was also at the game. Full occupancy, sure didn't feel like it. I think it was louder in the Scotiabank Arena when Curtis from Alberta was there back in January, and he was the only guy. Here's one. When in the first period, games tied 1-1. There was a little bit of hoopla when they tied it up. Here we are in the third at 5-1, and it's sagging. You can notice here there's barely anyone in the seats. So it wasn't great. Keefe let him have it after the game. I don't know if anyone watched the post game or heard any of the reviews. He was brutally honest, and rightfully so. When a D-man scores, normally it's considered a good game, but 38 was not good. Sandin was terrible. And really nobody was good. Anderson played a great game for the Sabres. I guess that's a highlight. But the Leafs were garbage. Robertson is going to start playing up with the second line, I think. I think we're going to see that. We're going to start seeing some bigger moves in the next little bit. I heard today that Kerfoot was skating with the fourth line. Cachet is nearly back, but I'm not so sure he is. He and 47 were both penciled in on that third line right wing. So I don't know what that tells you. Is that trade stuff with respect to 47? Who knows? I think it's probably Cachet is not quite ready yet. If you're a paranoid Leaf fan in March and you're starting to get ready for trade deadline, you look at the practice listing and you start seeing, hey, Sandin's not even practicing with the big club today. I don't know if he's sick. There was no word on it. 47 kind of penciled in beside 25. That's a little bit interesting. So who knows? There could be some action going on. We might hear some news. Listen, the last 8 games they played against 4 bad teams, non-playoff teams, and they played against 4 pretty good teams. This is a little bit interesting. So the 4 good teams they played were the Penguins, the Blues, the Wild, and the Capitals. They went 3-1 over that stretch with a goals against those teams of 11. That's about 2.75 goals against per game. Over that stretch, they played 4 non-playoff teams: the Habs, Blue Jackets, the Red Wings, and the Sabres. They went 1-3, giving up 21 goals, 5.25 goals against during that stretch. I guess the good news is if the Leafs make the playoffs, they won't have to play any of the bad teams. That's all I can say. So, Coach, what did you like?
Well, that record really tells you something. We'll get in a little bit into what the schedule looks like too. I was thinking it's favorable. Maybe it isn't.
Maybe it isn't.
At the risk of being repetitive, the defense is not good enough, and the way that the pieces fit, they don't fit. So we've talked all year about needing top-end guys to press other guys down in the lineup where they're more comfortable. And we've got a bunch of guys that can play third pair minutes. So here's what the defense looked like for the last game. Okay, Dermott and Lyubushkin, those guys were pretty solid. They were even. Dermott actually looks okay. He's looked okay for a while, and Lyubushkin's pretty steady. He actually even got some penalty kill minutes, which I think the Leafs penalty kills is super aggressive. It takes you a while to learn, what you do and when you cover for Marner, who's going to go take a risk and all that kind of stuff. So good for them. We talked about Brody and Hall. Brody, what a steadying influence. But look, Rasmus Sandin can't play top pair minutes, and he for sure can't play the right side. We've proven that. It's small sample size, but an awful sample size. He was bad, and he and Riley are the 2 guys you can't pair together anyway. They're both looking to go. They're the only 2 that are looking to go. So we had high hopes for it. It was never going to work, and it didn't. Those guys were awful, -2 each. And then, the other part I've been harping on is goaltending. Someone's got to take the crease. Well, someone's got to just not give it up. Here's Mrazek. Mrazek had a game very similar to the St. Louis game that Campbell had a couple of weeks ago. Gave up 5. Could you fault him for any of the 5? 2 of them went in off our guy. One with Sandin coughing it up in the neutral zone leads to a partial breakaway. He wasn't, he can't really be faulted on any of them. They weren't as soft as Campbell's debacle last game in Detroit. But we need a save. Yeah. And so his 839, he's well under 900 for the year. So I don't know, guys. I'm kind of tired of talking about it. Somebody's got to step up in the crease.
Yeah. KD, what do you think?
Well, with that group of people that went to the game, we have one guy who wasn't able to make it. He's a huge Sabres fan. So as much as we kind of dodged a bullet that night, we heard from him the next day loud and clear. So that I didn't like that part, but at least we didn't have to listen to it that night. Well noted that the D are struggling, but just like me with the group on Tuesday night, the Leaf forwards are freeloading. Like, they are totally freeloading. They're up too high. The wingers are always high. They are turning an amazing large amount of pucks over at the other team's blue line. And when you already have shaky pairings on D and maybe guys who haven't played with each other, and you're putting them on an island and having top flight players come back at them full speed with odd man rushes, you're asking for trouble. And what I find really the most frustrating part is we saw early what the Sabres were like. They're a tire fire in their own end. They can't handle the cycle. And they play a very, very passive trap where they just clog the neutral zone. And still, they tried long passes. The forwards started too deep. They got no control. And when the crowd disappeared, it's because virtually there was not a single pass made in the second period. Yeah. I mean, it was total choppy hockey. So they didn't adjust to the team they were playing against. Come back, break the puck out, dump it in, control on the other end, create some momentum. And they know it's there. And I don't know if it's arrogance or if it's stupidity, or maybe a combination of both. But they stubbornly refuse to change when it's obvious what you're doing is not working. So we got to see that going forward. If you want to win playoff series, you got to adapt your game. Like sometimes you have to adapt it game to game, and if you don't win. And we just went against a team who were going to trap us, hope for the best. And they did, and we let it. We played right into it and wouldn't change. It was very frustrating to me.
Yeah. When you watch the games, the only team that sort of that fights the other team's blue line, and the D standing still there and flick it past them and skate in 65 and 47 do it every time, and they get possession of the puck. The third line consistently does it. You look at the possession numbers over the last little bit. That third line it's the driving force. Unfortunately, they don't have a lot of finish there. But Keefe also made an indication that Sandin and Riley won't be playing again.
Yeah.
he pretty much said that will never happen again. So
I don't know what we're doing, but we're not doing that anymore.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This is the time we're going to lay it all on the line. We're going to make some predictions. We got the Canucks coming in on Saturday night. Here we go. Another non-playoff team. Just saying. KD, what's going to happen?
Well, the Leafs struggle anyways with Vancouver. I mean, they have. It's well documented. They haven't done much against them over the last couple of years. I think they're gonna get through. Like I'm calling for them. They're gonna break through. I think it might end up being a little bit ugly, but Toronto's special teams hasn't been great the last little while, and Vancouver's is crappy. They do have second-rate special teams, so I'm calling for the special teams to get going. And it feels like one of those games where we might need our field goal kicker, like in the Detroit game, playing. So look for a late field goal in the third to win it.
Interesting. Okay, Coach.
I'm not sure I see that if they play Demko. That guy's pretty solid. So I look. First off, I have a 4-1 win over the Knuckleheads. We're going to get back on track. But, the next 6 games, let's put it up here. The next 6 games are all against bad teams. They're all winnable. The only team close to a playoff spot in this 6 are the Stars. So it's either going to keep going like we're going to keep underestimating non-playoff teams and having trap game after trap game, or we're going to turn it around. I say we turn it around. I say we're going to win 5 of our next 6. And I'm saying that Campbell, starting with this game Saturday night, is going to win back the crease. He's going to come back along. I like what he's been saying. I like his attitude. I just got to shake it off and play hockey. In fact, I think if I quote the noted American poet, he's a philosopher, Samuel Hagar, he said, and I quote, hold on, let me do this here. Right now, there's no tomorrow. Right now is everything. Catch that magic moment and do it right here and now. Thanks, Sammy. That's good. I think Campbell takes the crease, and we're off on another win streak.
Well, I tell you what, everything I'm about to say is probably wrong because I'm kind of agreeing with Coach. Last time I did that, the Leafs lost 5-1 to Buffalo.
That was the shot, wasn't it?
I'm gonna go 3-1. Leafs give up a late goal, scoring Campbell's bid for a shutout. 65 scores, 34 scores, 91 scores for the Leafs. They got to start stepping on people's throats. If you want to be a real winner, you got to be a champion. You got to step on a few throats. There you go, folks. You heard it right here. You heard it first. Subscribe, share it with your friends, hit like, and join us again right here on the OZone.
No excuses. Play like a champion.